Hey, what's up, guys? It's Russo and Jordy with Backdoor Fantasy Sports, and we've got another Prize Picks video for you. We're going to be talking about Monday Night Football on November 20th between the Chiefs and the Eagles. But before we get into that, if you're new to Prize Picks, use our promo code. They'll double your first deposit up to $100. And if you're new to our channel, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell because we drop extra picks in our Discord every day, which you can actually find in the community section of this channel. And we will notify you on YouTube when the picks are live in Discord. So make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell. And we're going to do a quick recap of our Sunday slate picks that we had. We had some close calls. We just missed a potential sweep there. My three picks were Khalil Shakir over 2.5 receptions. He ended up getting that. He went for 3. A little bit of a slow start from the Bills in the first quarter. At least they looked a little lackadaisical, but they ended up just getting things rolling, and Khalil was able to hit on his 3. And then we had David Montgomery anytime touchdown. This one had me sweating because it came down to like the last few seconds of the game. And I saw like Jahmyr Gibbs in there at the goal line, and I was like, man, we're really not going to get this. Gibbs is taking over this backfield. And then they bring in Montgomery, and he gets into the end zone. I was like, oh my gosh, our Discord was just like cracking up about how close it was. But anyways, he hit. We did not get the Josh Jacobs rush attempts. We had him for over 16.5 because he'd gone for like 25, I think like 25, 26 in the 2 previous games. We were feeling good about them establishing the run early in this game. And they really didn't. And, Miami ended up really occupying a lot of time of possession in this game. Closer game than we were kind of expecting, but still they kind of waited a little too long to establish the run. So Jacobs didn't hit his. And how'd you do, Jordy?
Yeah. We had 2 really close calls with our 2 of our picks here. But first of all, we took Josh Dobbs to go over 5.5 rush attempts. He went for 8, so he crushed. I think that line's going to be really juiced from now on. They have so many designed runs for him because he's so good at it. So anyway, we went with Gibbs to go over 10 rush attempts as well, and he was off to a great start. He looked hot, and he looked like, that sounded weird, but he looked good. It looked like he was going to crush it, and then...
he does, though.
Yeah, he looked like he was going to crush it. He had like 4 in the first quarter or something, then he had 2 in the second quarter, and then they brought in Montgomery, and Montgomery went for like 12 rush attempts and took over the rest of the game. So Gibbs ended with 8. Kind of disappointing there. Then we also took CeeDee Lamb for over 6.5 receptions, and he had 6, so he came really close, but he had like 11 targets. And 2 of them went off his hands because I was watching the game, and pretty frustrating stuff, but really close to a sweep there.
Yeah, man. And with that Gibbs pick, I don't think anybody was expecting the Bears come out and punch the Lions in the teeth,
Yep.
And so the Lions were playing from behind. Gibbs ended up having 6 targets and caught all 6 of them. So he was getting the snap share that we were expecting, but he ended up just being utilized in the pass game a little bit more. Then I think even they were planning with playing from behind literally the whole game. It was a fun game, though.
It was.
So, all right, so let's talk about Monday Night Football. Let's look at the over-under. We got an over-under of 45.5, so relatively high scoring and only a 2.5 point spread. So this should be a close one. In football, it's much less. You don't really have to worry quite as much about a blowout in the way a blowout affects a game versus basketball. But yeah, this should be a close one, and 2 really good teams facing off. So yeah, I'll get started on my picks here. I got 2 receiving yards props for you. And don't forget they do have a free play with Christian McCaffrey. I think you can use up to $20 or $25 worth. So you can break it up over a couple plays or just use it for one big one if you want. But definitely utilize that one. And I think that you were saying it's for Thanksgiving, right? This Thursday?
Yep.
Man, Thanksgiving's on Thursday. It's crazy.
I know.
All right. So my first receiving yards prop is going to be Marquez Valdez-Scantling to go over 18.5 receiving yards. He's hit this in his last three games. And I like him to do it again. He's getting 3 targets a game, which doesn't sound like much, but that's actually pretty decent if you are a wide receiver for the Kansas City Chiefs. Because Travis Kelce just occupies most of that share in receiving, but he is averaging 29 receiving yards a game with those 3 targets a game. And then if we look at what the Eagles are allowing, they're actually allowing a lot of yards through the air, almost 200 yards a game. And I think, they do have a really stout run defense, and sometimes they end up getting into these shootouts against these teams. And so I think that's part of the reason why that number is so high, but that's still a good indicator for Valdez-Scantling to be able to go over on that. So we're going to take that, especially on a single game slate like this, where it's going to be a fun game, but there isn't like a whole lot to be that excited about that we can really predict. But my next one is going to be DeAndre Swift for the same amount, 18.5 receiving yards. He's done this quite a bit over the year. And let's see, he's averaging just under 26 yards a game receiving. And he catches just about everything that's thrown his way, averaging just under 5 targets a game and grabbing 4.2 of those per game. And if we look at what the Chiefs are allowing, they're allowing only 22 receiving yards a game to running backs on average. But that's like a little bit skewed because they had that recent game against the Chargers where they literally just shut them down. So we've got that one outlier where they only had like 1 yard. So that brought that average down. But if you look at the last game, it's like 41, 35, 28, 23, 27. So teams are able to like get some receiving yards to the running back against the Chiefs. So let's look at the odds on these. So they've got DeAndre Swift at -120 to go over 18.5. And they got MVS at -115, which is pretty much just a 50-50 shot. And I think that's because like exactly what we were talking about, like with like if they didn't think this was going to be good, they would have it favoring the under, but because of the unknowns of the other, like the targets to the receivers, I think they're just leaving this at 50-50. This may change before the actual game, but I'm feeling comfortable with these two for Monday Night Football. What do you got, Jordy?
Dude, so to get me started, I'm going to be going with a receiving yards prop also, but like he said, don't forget to grab this free square. It is for Thanksgiving, so you won't be able to cash out your money if you win until that prop ends on Thursday night. So keep that in mind, but it is a free square, so I would take it on one of your big hitters. So to get me started, I'm going to go with a receiving yards prop, and I'm going to take Rashee Rice. So it's kind of weird because the Eagles are giving up like the most receptions and targets a game to wide receivers, but they're also giving up the least amount of passing yards, and they're giving up the fewest completion percentage to opposing quarterbacks, and like they're first in fewest yards when it comes to passing. So they're pretty locked down, but their rushing defense is so good that people are going to the air against them. So Mahomes is going to have to throw the ball to someone other than Kelce in this game. So I like Rashee Rice. This is a -125 to go over. He's been crushing this in a few games this year. He's had some bad matchups, but I think he can get this done for us with the circumstances of the game and it being a high over-under. And then pairing that, I'm going to take Patrick Mahomes for an interception. The Eagles are, let's see, they are 6th in interceptions this year. They're taking away everything deep, so I think it's going to be a pretty tough game for Mahomes. And he's been under a lot of pressure this year. Their O-line's looking a little shaky. He's been throwing a lot of picks this year. So, being a gunslinger, that kind of comes with the territory. And I think he's going to throw us one. So I like those two to go over, man.
Great. Yeah, so that's the 4 we've got for you. Again, don't forget to subscribe, and we will let you know when we got fresh picks in our Discord. And enjoy Monday Night Football. We hope you cash, and we'll catch you in the next video.
Good luck, guys.